Mm, 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 mm. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great day. Um, just got finished live streaming the Monday night game, um, Tampa Bay versus Baltimore, and as good as Tampa Bay has played some games this year, I think their season may be over, sadly. Um, I don't know how, let's see, Mike Evans looks like he pulled his hamstring, so he's going to be out for quite a bit. But I don't remember so many, and maybe it's because there are so many cameras out there now. You know, you've got the pylon cams and the sideline cams that we see everything. And we have seen so many bad injuries. Now, maybe they existed before. You know, it's kind of like now we all have a cell phone and we're seeing things that people are like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this stuff now. It's like, that's just been going on for years, forever. It's just now you're seeing it. But Chris Godwin's injury, oh man, you don't want to see it. That might be, technology is better than what it was when Joe Theismann broke his leg. And, you know, we've seen Dak Prescott come back with his, and we saw Alan Hearns. But I have never seen somebody's foot do a 180. And that was just unbelievable. That may be a career-ending type injury. And see, the thing is here is we constantly talk about, well, this guy's overpaid. That guy overpaid. He's a bum. Take a look around at what you guys see out here on the football field. Think about the risks these guys play. Now, I get it. You're going to see Dak Prescott make $60 million and stuff like that. But when you see somebody like DeMar Hamlin, who, if it had ended up being that he was from his literally dying on the field, that he ended up having paralysis and never played again, guess what? He hadn't been in the NFL long enough to receive a pension. And that the average player out there that has a career of about 3 years, that's the average. So you take a guy who's been in the league 12 years, if he's going to skew the numbers towards other people. And I know it sounds like a lot that, you know, the minimum salary is like $600,000, $700,000. That is a lot of money for 1 year. But when you think about somebody who is 21, 22, 23 years old, and this is the only skill that they have, and let's say they play 2 years and they make, you know, $1.1 million, take a look at how long of a life they still have left. There's no pension for them. There's no, you know, retirement plan from the NFL. You're screwed. And there's so many players that we forget about that have been permanently damaged playing football. Permanently damaged. Suffering with concussions, broken bones, you know, unable to walk, mental issues, CTE, that I don't begrudge any of them for getting every penny that they get. Because in the end, as we sit here tonight, because it really kind of missed me a bit, because, you know, not everybody can afford to get all of these streaming platforms. You know, the fact that ESPN now has 2 Monday night games, and, you know, only way you're going to see that other game is by spending $11.99 a month for ESPN app, ESPN Plus, or, you know, watching the Eagles on a Friday night with Paramount, you know, that's another app, or watching Thursday night football with Amazon Prime, and now Christmas Day with Netflix. And then, of course, you got YouTube TV and Sunday Ticket. You know, it's literally at the point where the owners are shaking you upside down to get every nickel out of you. At least let the people out there on the field that are the reason why we're watching. We're not watching because of the owners. We're not. We're watching because of those players that are out there 17 weeks a season. They deserve every penny that they get, because the comeback from that injury, and we've seen a lot just in the last few weeks, seeing Ayuk tear his ACL there, seeing the guy who had a spinal injury carried off yesterday, seeing Hutchinson with his ankle, and now this one with Chris Godwin. It's just unreal. So, watching the Micah Parsons podcast, Micah Parsons is talking about what Troy Aikman said. And, you know, he's like, well, you know, forgive me. He said, you know, Troy Aikman is, you know, kind of putting this out there and things that maybe he could come to practice or talk to us and things like that and things. He was more politically correct in saying, you know, what Troy Aikman was saying. And the bottom line with him was, he's saying, well, you know, it doesn't matter what somebody out there says, it's what the guys here in the locker room say. Mike McCarthy kind of went on there and says that what Troy Aikman has to say doesn't hold water in his mind. And see, this, I think, is the problem here. Right now, we are dealing with the messenger, okay, instead of the message. It shouldn't matter who said this. This should make you think and wonder, is there validity to this message? Is this something that maybe we need to work on and fix? See, that's the problem. We're so worried about, oh, Troy Aikman said this. It doesn't matter who said it if it's true. The bigger question is, what are you going to do about it differently? Because for you to say, Mike McCarthy, it doesn't, you know, what somebody else says or Troy Aikman says, you know, doesn't, you know, matter to you. Well, I tell you what should matter to you. The fact that your offensive line right now is giving up more pressures on your quarterback than anybody else. What should matter to you right now is that your wide receivers have the worst separation in football. What should matter to you is that your running game is the worst in football. What should matter to you is that your red zone offense stinks. What should matter to you is your run-stopping defense is one of the worst in football. And it doesn't matter if I said it, Troy Aikman says it, Law Nation says it. It doesn't matter if they are true, and you need to do something about them. Stop dealing with the messenger, deal with the message. You know, it's kind of like they say, don't hate the player, hate the game. Dan Quinn was so right. So right when he said, tomorrow isn't promised. And that's why you have to have a sense of urgency now. You want to know what's crazy right now? The first half of the game, I think Derrick Henry touched the ball like 4 times. And people on Twitter were going off because they were saying, man, Vegas, see, Vegas done benched him because everybody put their money on Derrick Henry and so on. And they started using him in the second half. And he had 14 carries for 167 yards, which were equated to 11.9 yards a carry. And he caught a touchdown pass. Derrick Henry, already this season, is almost at 900 yards. He's at 872. 872 yards. He is on pace for 2,100 yards. Understand the NFL record is 2,005 yards. 2,005 yards. He's on pace to get damn near close to that. He's on pace to be only the second player in the history of the NFL to have 2,000-yard seasons. And that guy, he wanted to be a Cowboy. And the Joneses wouldn't even have a conversation with him. Let that sink in for a minute. Let that sink in. This is why we're not winning Super Bowls. And that hurts. Cowboys have 2 weeks and a day before the trade deadline. And knowing the Cowboys, they won't do anything. As always, good people, you know I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And right now, we got the game against San Francisco. Deebo Samuels is in the hospital with pneumonia. He's got fluid on the lungs. He went in the hospital last night after the game, and we don't know what that is, what's going on. San Francisco is extremely beat up right now. Sometimes in football, you get lucky when you play somebody. And at the moment, they're desperate and we're desperate. It will literally be the desperation ball. The Cowboys, they're beginning to get to the point where they don't have a lot of room for error. They need this win big time. And I hope that this week that they have a sense of urgency to get this damn thing done. So with that being said, you guys know how I roll. Remember, tell the people you love how much you love them. Because you might not get the chance again, good people, and I love you. And God willing, we'll all be here tomorrow. Boy, my stuff. Woo. We'll all be here tomorrow. Peace.